lot of atheists tend to get annoyed when I talk about evolution in terms of the evolution of consciousness rather than biological evolution, because science and rationalism tend to want to reduce human culture, human meaning and mind and consciousness to a purely biological phenomenon. And they want to do that because they can then reduce biology to a purely chemical phenomenon. And then they can reduce the chemical phenomenon to a purely physical phenomenon. And this reduction, in the 19th century at least, before Einstein and quantum physics were developed, thought that there were these ultimate things called atoms that were the components of everything in the universe. And materialism seemed like a legitimate explanation for how and why the universe is the way it is. But I think that was a metaphysical interpretation of the scientific data that we had thus far collected. And postmodernism, if it's anything, it's the end of metaphysics. Metaphysical claims such as that there is a God or that everything is matter aren't really tenable anymore. There's nothing to support them. And I think the idea of a Hegelian thesis, antithesis, and synthesis can help us out here when we look at theism or mythological consciousness, atheism or rational consciousness, and integralism or irrational consciousness. So the theists, they just believe the stories that their parents tell them, and they're very conservative, and you know, the Bible is the word of God and it answers everything. And that kind of a worldview is a very harmonious and enclosed and understandable and rational world. You, the earth, is the center of the created universe. The stars are the angels, and they dance in the sky for you in this predictable mathematical pattern, just to prove to you that God exists, and that that's heaven. Songs of the spheres. But then modern man, rational man, atheist man said, no, we're not the center. You know, Copernicus showed that the sun was at the center and we rotate around that. And that there's all these other suns with planets around them, and we're just one teeny little world in an insignificant corner of an average galaxy of a universe greater than anything we can imagine. And so everything seems meaningless at that point. But you see, this is a thesis and an antithesis. Atheism is still essentially theism. It's a reaction to theism. It's the dialectical movement spawned by the original posing of a god. But integral consciousness is supposed to see this movement and allow it to be what it is instead of attaching to either side of it. It's a whole movement. There is no theism without atheism. There's no atheism without theism. And I think the adulthood of Western man is not atheism. Atheism is the adolescence. The adulthood is a renewed sense of unity, an understanding that science, religion, and philosophy they're not separate domains. They all have to coexist. They all have to talk about the same reality. Because they used to, and we still have access to that type of understanding. We're just not using it. We're repressing it in favor of some kind of a technological machine. We're trying to design the perfect machine and force us and all the rest of life to adapt to the machine. And we're not using technology in our favor. We're allowing technology to use us and for its own benefit, to increase its size and complexity, and to continue to proliferate it into more and more spheres of human life. And you know, it's as though technology has become an end in itself. Creating new things, new electrical devices, is inherently good somehow. I guess we say it makes society a better place. It increases the quality of life. But does it? The quality of life has ever changed. The quality of life is defined by the fact that you're a human being. It doesn't matter where or when you are a human being, or how many TVs you have, or how many comfortable couches you have. It doesn't matter that you have running water and air conditioning. Your life is essentially human, and as an essentially human life, you're going to be born, and you're going to die, and you're going to suffer. You're going to get sick, you're going to make friends with people, and you're going to fall in love, and you're going to hate people, and you're going to have your heart broken, and you're going to get hurt, and you're going to have amazing surprises happen to you, and you're going to have all of these experiences that are essentially human. And you know, you can't say that one human experience or lifetime is better than another. So who's to say the quality of our lives is improving? That's I don't know about that. Evolution is occurring. So nature is remembering itself as spirit. See, and that's not metaphysical. If there is a spirit, it is not separate from nature. And see, this is a thesis, antithesis, and synthesis again. Theism has a God. Atheism has only man. Integralism has spirit. Spirit is the synthesis of God and man. That is what's happening.